Get it called during the show.
It's my
Good morning, Getchell. I'm Nick Santana, and this is my co-host.
Kazaya Nelson.
We're here today on Charger Chat with our special guest, Jim Ballew, the Marysville Parks Director. How are you doing this morning?
I'm awesome. How about you two?
I'm a little tired, but I'm good.
Yeah, okay, that works.
I'm doing pretty good.
It's early.
Yeah, it is early.
Thank you so much for coming out
Sure.
at 7 in the morning.
Yeah, I know it's a little early, especially when you have stuff to do in the day. But well, anyways, did you find the school all right? People often have troubles like finding the right school because of the whole SLC, the different.
Oh no,
schools
I've been up here a lot. No.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, that's good.
Great campus.
Yeah, it really is a great campus.
It is pretty. What does a normal Wednesday morning look like for you being a Parks Department Director?
I would probably not identify a normal day ever. I mean, that's kind of the nature of the beast and what we do. We don't really have normal days.
Yeah.
But typically, I get to meet my staff first thing in the morning, and we kind of gel and find out who's doing what. Things change overnight in our field, so we have to sometimes change our schedule. We run parks, recreation, senior services, so something always is evolving, which is kind of fun. So we meet and greet and get on with the day.
So you never really know exactly what's going to happen the day?
Exactly, no, we don't, but generally speaking.
All right.
What kind of projects are you guys focusing on right now?
Really exciting stuff. We are focused, we just finished a master plan of the EB Waterfront Trail and also an EB Waterfront Park. Right now, our community can only access EB Slough with about 900 feet of shoreline. So our master plan blows that up, and we'll have about 2 miles of trail opportunities once we figure out the funding. And then also the former Geddes Marina, the city acquired that several years ago. We're going to start demolishing it next week and turn it into a large open space tract for parks and flexible space for large community events where a couple thousand people can gather, and then maybe even a boating center where car top boating, kayaks, canoes can put in at that point, and also maybe be stored down there. So really exciting.
Yeah, those are some pretty big projects coming up. Yeah.
Demolition.
It's about a $20 million project on just the park, and maybe another $10 million on the trail system. So
for Justin Marysville.
Justin Marysville.
Where do we find money for stuff like that?
Good question. You know, there's a couple ways to do it. We're always looking for grants, but in that amount of money, there aren't a lot of, even federal agencies don't give you $30 million.
Yeah.
So a combination of loans, combination of bond issues, and you know, things that are available to our community to finance those. They're usually employed by other communities similar to Marysville. A lot of people pass bond issues. They tax themselves a little bit more so they can have these quality of life issues, or you know, events and programs and opportunities. So those are things we're going to study over the next few months on how we're going to, you know, establish a finance mechanism or a plan to go with it.
What makes it worth the $10 million to you?
It's $30 million.
$30 million. Sorry,
$10 million would be for the trail system, and do you know where the Quoolute restoration area is, where we flooded the lower marshlands and a dairy farm?
I think
kind of, yeah.
Okay, 340 acres. The Tulalip's bought it, and they worked on it and prepared it to take away the dike, breach the dike, and let it flood twice a day for salmon restoration. It worked, and there's a trail system that can be developed around it. So you'll be able to go out, you won't be able to cross the area where they took the dike out. We're not be able to bridge that, but we're going to create a trail system that surrounds most of that, if not all of it, with exception of the breach. And that'll tie into downtown and also Sunnyside Hills.
Okay.
And at that point, you know, the community can drop in from other neighborhoods and pick up areas of the trail. And then the downtown part, which is the expensive part, that's about 11 acres that we would convert into a large, next to the EB waterfront park. There's a pond down there. There used to be boathouses in that pond. They're all gone. But convert that into an opportunity for a lot of people to recreate at the same time.
Okay.
And do different things like learn how to fish, learn how to boat, put on concerts, festivals, all kinds of things.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It seems like you guys are really trying to get the community more involved with like our own city.
You know, that's a really good point. We do. We do, particularly on this endeavor, we do design charrettes.
Mm-hmm.
That's an invitation for the community that might be involved or it might impact their immediate area. We invite them through mailings. Come sit down with us and tell us what you think about a design thought or an impact.
Mm-hmm.
We just recently did that last year with the Mother Nature's Window Park property. That's 35 acres of second growth forest in the middle of the community on the corner of 100th and 55th. And we invited the community to help us come in and look at it. Now we're doing a master plan on that. We'll revisit that community, invite them back to an evening at a school and say, what do you think? And they'll have a chance to give us their hard thoughts. And it's worked on a lot of projects that we've done. It's a lot of fun to do as well.
So is that kind of one of the things that you like to see come from these big projects, is just all the reactions of the people that have been involved or maybe haven't even been involved but see it and get to experience the parks or the trails afterwards?
One of the, probably one of the funnest things I did, or we did, was build a spray park in Comfort Park.
Yeah.
The day we opened that, you know, a lot of tears of joy. I mean, people were over the moon. And the first year, you know, we've had over 30,000 people attend the spray park. And last year was just not a little less. People were, you know, they got used to it, if you will. And the weather wasn't all that great. But that's one of the more fun things that we've done for the community. And I was really proud of the city council for putting up the money for that.
Yeah.
It changed downtown Marysville.
It did.
Really did.
Every time I passed by it, I saw a full park. Like, there wasn't ever a time, well, besides like rainy days, where there wasn't like a bunch of kids and their families in there and stuff.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that. It's one of the reasons we did it. We had to change it. There was a lot of kind of...
It was kind of grungy for a while.
Yeah, there you go. A lot of people that were down there we didn't want down there.
Yeah.
So it worked. You know, it was fascinating to see that shift take place. So that's what we think will happen with the waterfront as well.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. So for the time that you've been a parks director, is the waterfront one of the bigger projects, or the $30 million one that you've done?
That'd be the big enchilada. That's a big project. Primarily because it takes a unique resource and converts it into public access and public use. And that's why I got into the business. I think anybody that does what we do, they do it for, like you guys, for our community. So you get an opportunity to enjoy life just a little bit better. It might be through just a walk in the park. It might be a continuing education class. It might be a basketball league. Whatever it is, you know, it's an opportunity for people to enjoy their own community without having to drive to Everett or Redmond or, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, we have a segment here about the future parks director of Marysville, Washington.
You do.
Hello everyone, my name is Swinford, and I'm here with a very important message. I am the next park director of Marysville, Washington, and this is why.
As you can see, I am very involved with school. I made this poster art club. It's a very safe place for students to go and express their art. This is just a couple pieces of artwork that has come from the art club. Did I mention the house system? This little piece of art that I created here. Yeah, I started it to unify students here.
Hey there, Garrett. Is that a good read? This is a library that I stocked myself. That sign right there? Yeah, I made it. It's to ensure safety for students coming up and down the stairs. Not only am I involved inside the school, but I'm very involved with nature, so goodbye technology. What's that, Mr. Tree? Trash? Not a problem. Not only am I perfect for school and nature, but for the community. That's why I am the perfect candidate to be the future of Marysville's Park Department. Have a nice day.
Welcome back, Marysville. Again, we're here with Jim Ballew, the Parks Director of Marysville. So, that was obviously a segment about the future Parks Director of Marysville. What we have been wanting to ask you is, have you seen the TV show Parks and Recreation?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
The first episode, my entire staff came over to my house for dinner and we watched it.
Really?
And then the Everett Herald interviewed us and said, "So what do you think?"
Oh, really?
And ironically, the first episode was good.
Yeah.
But ironically, there's a lot of that show that's actually very close to reality.
That's awesome.
And you deal with, the general public throws all kinds of wingers at you sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's part, like you asked me at the beginning, what's a typical day? We don't have a typical day
Yeah.
because of, the outside influences that change that. So
Yeah.
sometimes we have days like, we'll look at each other and go, "You can't make this up. This is just like an episode of Parks and Rec."
Yeah.
And that's a reality.
What's something crazy that you've had happen?
Oh, I probably can't say that on TV.
That bad?
Yeah, no, it's
It gets pretty bad.
it gets pretty bad, and some of it's fun, but
Yeah.
it's the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The Leslie Nopes of the world. We have people on our team like that. They want to do good,
Yeah.
and if I'm the Ron, oh boy, we're in trouble. But no, it's all good. Life is full of characters just like that.
Would you say you relate to Leslie Knope the most?
I
or
think
Ron
anybody in our
Swanson?
department would like to be Leslie.
Yeah.
Not the Chris Pratt character.
Yeah.
He tries, but no, there's all of us do a little bit. Take on the role of every cast member
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
to a certain extent. There's good sides, there's dark sides.
You have some
and-
April days.
Right, and we have some April days. That's a
I think
good
we
one.
all have some of those. So you have Ron Swanson's job. He's the parks director of
Mhm.
Pawnee. So, and you feel like you can relate to him some days too.
Some days.
Some days.
Yeah.
You gotta get the mustache.
Yeah, no, I did that a long time ago. No, some days, yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Have you ever been compared to him or to Leslie Knope or to any of the characters?
Oh, like I said, sometimes we call each other Leslie in the office.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets like that, but not Ron.
No.
Ron's a little dark.
He is. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are your coworkers like? I mean, I know you mentioned that a lot of it is like the actual show and your day-to-day operations, but what are your coworkers like?
You sometimes hear people say they like to get up and go to work each day because of the people they work with.
Mm.
I'm one of those guys. I have a great team that they're all in it for the same reason. We've been doing it a long time. Some of us, we just hired we changed our name, by the way, to Parks Culture and Recreation.
Oh.
And we just hired a culture marketing coordinator, and she has extensive experience in Parks and Rec from up north, Skagit County, and she's doing a great job because we just took over the Marysville Opera House.
Oh.
I have an assistant director who's been in the field for 30 years, and she's a specialist in technical, and she's kind of running finance. And then I have a rec coordinator, an athletic coordinator. I have a parks maintenance manager who works almost 24/7, and then a maintenance team that goes with that. And then we have our community center, and I have a community center manager and a program person. And then we get to work with all the other divisions within the city.
Yeah.
Pretty much every day. So, truthfully, I love getting up and going to work. I've done it for 28-something years.
Wow.
Is that how long you've been involved in?
In Marysville,
In
I
Marysville.
was down in Grace Harbor, Aberdeen, Hoquiam for 22 months and 3 days, and enjoyed every minute of it. I really did. But came up here, and before that I was in Alaska for 10 years, and I ran a recreation complex in Anchorage, and also coached up there as well.
What was your inspiration for getting into the Parks Department?
Good question. I started working as a swim instructor at the age of 16, and we were teaching water babies, and it was a professional business. It was in California where I grew up. And I learned that I really liked the interaction with people, and people came in, they were paying money to learn how to swim, or have their 6-month-old babies learn how to get waterproof. And I realized, people make a living at this, people enjoy this. I loved going to work. And then when I went to school, I went to, back east, I was involved with, business, and also a minor in psychology, and it still was about people. And I really enjoyed the opportunity to work side by side with people. And I also was a fan of doing community service, wherever I was. So I put the two together and focused on Parks and Recreation, and it fit.
Yeah.
It fit. My family likes what we do. They're all involved in their community. I have 2 boys that are teachers, one in Mount Vernon and one in Arlington, and then I have another son who likes sports so much he became a professional soccer player.
Oh, wow.
And my wife works at the school district. So we're community people.
You're really sunk in.
We love it.
What did you start off as? Did you start off as the director, or did you have to
Here?
work your way up the chain?
No, I was hired as the director here 28 years ago from Grace
Oh,
Harbor.
wow.
Yeah,
Did you start off as the director in Grace Harbor, or?
I did.
How did you get hired as a director just right off the bat? I mean, I feel like you'd have to work your way up to that position.
Well, with the experience I had in Alaska, that I moved out of Alaska because the economy changed.
Yeah.
So we came down here, and I was going to go actually into insurance, and the market was awful. So I stayed with Parks and Rec, or with Recreation. Found the opening and had an opportunity to succeed as a candidate down there. Was able to make an impact. They were building an aquatic center, and that was my background. So that helped. That's probably one of the reasons I got that job. And that evolved, and then this job came up here. And what I did down in Grace Harbor and also what I did in Anchorage is what Marysville was looking for at the time. And it was a good fit.
So it kind of just fit well.
It was a good fit.
That's
Well, kind of
exciting.
shifting back to the Parks and Rec, I just have one more question about it that I want to ask. What would we see if a camera crew came in and filmed your office for a day or a month or a year? What would we see come out of that footage if they edit it like a TV show?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
I would say that they would see partnerships. They would see camaraderie, affection for what people did for a living, and every single day the ability, we love it when people walk through our door.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to jail to pay a court fine,
Yeah.
right? Or a traffic fine. People come in because they want to be involved, they want to do something fun, or they want to learn, or they want to experience something they haven't experienced before. That's what we offer. And I love what our team comes up with. You get a recreation guide 4 times a year, and our team's constantly looking at something different to offer, all age groups. And to be honest with you, our hardest age group is teens. And we would, teens just, I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
But we would love to hear more from, the teenage community and what they like to do. I know people talk about, let's build a teen center. Well, they don't necessarily succeed.
Yeah.
Because, you grow out of that pretty quick. But little adventure trips and things like that we can do, or opportunities for people to get together.
Yeah.
We'd love to be able to promote that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I last night on King 5, they came up and did a piece on 2 seniors that have been together 50 years, and they love to dance. And we started, once we took over the Opera House, they're attending our senior dances, and people leave the floor and watch them dance because they're incredible,
Yeah.
right? And they, King 5 did a great piece on it, and when you look at that on TV, you know, it's, you asked about if a crew came in, they did.
Yeah.
And they saw something beautiful, and they really created a great story. It was touching. That's what we do. That's the kind of stuff we look forward to.
So would you say, is that one of the many things that you get out of it that makes the job worthwhile, is seeing those little moments like that? Where
You know, those are the highlights.
Yeah.
The tough part is when people come in, and we hate graffiti and vandalism, and we're seeing a lot of it. We don't get it, you know. Theft is one thing, but to come in and just wreck something for fun, you know, playgrounds aren't cheap. And when somebody comes in and burns one down, it's, you know, $50,000.
Yeah.
Or they break it intentionally because they're not supposed to be on it. You know, those are the things that you scratch your head at, and unfortunately, we're seeing it hasn't changed. It just keeps coming at us.
Yeah.
Those are the tough days. Yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Well, we have another segment here about telekinesis, and we will get back to more questions after this short break.
Who did that?
Yeah, those mountains are so beautiful.
I know, it's just unbelievable, you know, just like the way the sun just shines on the mountains.
I know, and then how it reflects off the snow, and just it's so bright and beautiful, and just I can't even believe it. Welcome back, Marysville. Again, we're here in Charger Chat. I'm Nick, and
I'm
this is-
Keziah, and we have Jim Ballew.
and
Parks Department.
yeah, Director of Parks and Rec. So before we went to the break, we were talking about kind of the low points of the job, like when there's parks that get vandalized or broken. What are some things that you do to fix that after it's just been vandalized? How do you go about that?
One of the things we've had to evolve towards is a concept called environmental design, safe standards. And that means sometimes cutting down landscapes so people can be seen all the time,
Yeah.
or chaining tables to the ground so they don't walk off and disappear, add lighting to parks, which sometimes, you know, that's not a good thing, if you know, just to keep it safe. We've had to, whenever we make signs, we have to put a film over the sign because they're inevitably going to get graffitied or messed with. So that way we peel off the film, put another one on.
That's really smart.
Well, yeah, but it's $25 a sign.
Oh, wow.
Right. So the cost of managing graffiti, for instance, and vandalism, tens of thousands of dollars a year that we're all paying for.
Do the people get fined for it who are vandalizing if they get caught, or?
Usually they're minors, and laws are pretty restrictive in terms of, you know, charging a minor with a crime and getting restitution for it.
Yeah.
We rarely see anybody pay for damages done, even if we
That's too
catch them.
bad.
They might go to juvenile court, juvenile detention, but we don't get reimbursed for the damage.
That's too bad.
It's
There's
awful.
that reminds me of one episode of Parks and Recreation actually, where a Leslie Knope has a feud with this like 16-year-old boy. Do you remember that episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he constantly is vandalizing their parks and their statues, and she finally catches him, and she has a lot of joy for that.
Missed that one. I should probably look it up.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, we had a statue that was cut off and melted down for scrap metal, and
Really?
yeah, it's just not good.
That's too bad.
Did it get graffitied or did someone cut it?
They actually just took it off the mount down at the waterfront, and they
I wonder why someone would just like think to.
drugs. Pay for drugs.
Yeah.
We know who did it, and yeah, that's why they did it.
Would you say that drugs have been a major contribution to kind of the cost of fixing things in Marysville?
Well, I don't know if I could over-categorize it or generalize that. It's an issue in our community.
Yeah.
I think more, whenever it's theft, usually that's what you think of. They're trying to convert that into a means of obtaining drugs. But vandalism per se, that's really just a person that's bored.
Yeah.
Wants to prove something, wants to say something, because tagging is a language in some communities. And we've done a really good job eradicating it. When it goes up, we take it down. And the whole community has. We've had volunteer efforts, Clean Sweep we do in April. We get teams maybe from even the high school that come out and they'll paint fences with us over a day just to clean up. And it's one of those cool things the community does for itself. So it's ongoing.
Yeah. How do you get the community involved to do stuff like that, to participate and to take action, or is it kind of more they're just wanting to do it?
We have people call us all the time, individuals or groups that want to do something, and we're probably the volunteer coordinator for the whole city. So if it's a park project or it's an economic development project where they want to upgrade, plant flowers, that type of thing, we coordinate that.
Yeah.
That's our parks maintenance manager, Mike Robinson. He does a great job with that. We organize events with up to 300 people.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's orchestrated so well that people get in, do it for 4 hours.
Yeah.
We don't waste their time. They make an impact, and then there are people that we'll put out a call. We want help, and there's a lot of people that pay attention to that.
Mm-hmm. So do you ever hold like open forums for citizens to come down and talk about events that are going on in the community, or kind of, I don't know, bring awareness to issues that are happening? We
have two vehicles that people can do if they want to, come down and meet with officials.
Mm-hmm.
One is a typical city council meeting. They can come in anytime on a regular meeting and say, hey, I want 3 minutes and I want to talk about this. What can we do?
Yeah.
Park board, we meet every other month. People can come to our park board. We meet at Jennings Memorial Barn on the second Wednesday of every other month. And they can come talk to us about things they have. Or, better yet, send us an email. Let's get on it. Let's work on it right away.
Yeah. So that's one. Would you say that's one of the easiest way for a citizen to get involved is just to email or come down to a city council meeting and just pose their question?
We love it when people contact us, because we can, if they're thinking about something, we can respond to them immediately instead of having to wait. And they might be upset. They might have a great idea. Whatever it is, we're always getting questions daily. We get questions from our community.
That's really nice you respond so fast.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah.
Very important.
It makes citizens feel like their questions are being heard instead of kind of shoved in the corner,
That's one of the things I expect of my whole staff. If somebody calls you or emails you, you got a day, and you should be responding by the. I mean, some people send us something overnight.
Yeah.
It might be a weekend. As soon as you see it, develop a response. Get on it, and we're good at that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. We've just
Yeah,
about
you
run
bet.
out of time. Do you have any closing words or last things you want to say, like where the Parks Department is, or any events that are coming up in the future that you want to tell the community
When's
about?
this going to broadcast?
Right now.
Yeah.
Right now we're
it's
live?
actually live. yeah.
Okay, everybody. This weekend, it's Marysville's 125th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Come down to EB Waterfront Park from 1 to dusk. We have a logging show, 2 logging shows. We have 2 concerts. We have people that are doing stuff, demonstrations from 1911,
Wow.
1901. We have pony rides, and then at the end, a fireworks show. All kinds of food trucks and vendors. That's Saturday. And then Sunday, if you want to see a really cool Celtic roots band, we're doing a Mayor's Gala at the Opera House, which we just took over. And that's at 2 o'clock. You can get tickets at the door, and it comes with great food, too. It's $20, but it's great music, and we're really excited to present them. So this weekend, get down to EB Waterfront Park on Saturday. Have a great time.
Awesome.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you
so
so
much
much.
for coming
Yeah.
in.
All right,
I
thank
enjoyed
you.
having you. Thanks
Yeah.
for watching.
Thank you, Marysville.